Hi everyone, it's Chris from Calla Lily Studio. Here today I was going to show you how to make my pop-up Easter card with the elastic mechanism. I made this for my grandson for Easter, and it pops up. When you take it out of the card, it really pops up on its own. When you take it out of the envelope, I mean, it really pops up on its own. It's got an elastic mechanism inside that helps give it that pop. And so I thought I'd show you how to do it. This will be just for the basic card. I may do a separate tutorial to show you how to decorate it because it is a little different. Few things you'll need. The Crop-A-Dile, I use the Crop-A-Dile, as well as an X-Acto knife. Your scissors, of course. You'll need a ruler and a pencil so that you can make some measurements. I use score tape, but any double-sided tape will do. And rubber bands, I mean, you only need one per card. This one is 2.5 by 1/16 inch rubber band, but if you use a shorter one, I haven't tried it, but maybe there will be more pop to it. And on this, it's Stampin' Up! It's a pigtail. I always call it a pigtail punch. I really don't know what the real name of it, but I like it because it does two punches, two holes at once. And so let's get started. You are going to use a 12 by 12 piece of paper that you are going to cut one side down to 8.5 inches. So you're going to have a narrower side at 8.5 and a long side at 12 inches. You're going to score each end at 1.5 inches. I've already done this in the interest of time, but 1.5 inch on this side, and then turn it around, and 1.5 inches on that side. And then the measurements, and I'll put this on my blog. You're going to then score it at 3 3/4, at 6, and at 8 1/4. Then you're going to turn it and score on the narrow side at 6.5. And I've already, burnished my score lines so that you can see them, because you're going to take your scissors and you're going to go on that 6.5 inch line and cut it right to the 3 3/4 inch line. And then you're going to cut it away. Just go right up to that 6.5 inch line and cut it. You're going to do the same thing on the other side, on the 6.5 inch line, and cut it right to the 8 1/4 inch score line. Let's see if I can get it there. And cut it away. The next thing I do, just while I think of it, is I do use my corner rounder. I didn't mention that. You don't have to, but I like to round the corners just so the mechanism doesn't catch on anything. If you don't have one, I don't think that's a problem. The next thing we want to do is we want to use our ruler and measure on this 1.5 inch score line. On this side, you're going to measure down 2 inches and just make a pencil mark at the 2 inch mark. When you've got it folded in half, you're going to go on that 1.5 inch score line and just cut down to that 2 inch mark. And then I just hand cut. I'll show you why later. You don't have to worry much about cutting that too evenly. Just cut that away. And you can erase your pencil mark if you want. So you've got the same thing on both sides. You got your mechanism, your flap here, and this. Next, you'll want to take your measurement. You can fold this in. I'm going to look at my cheat sheet here. You can fold this in right here. You're going to take a measurement of 2 1/4 inches. Fold it down, and from that bottom, you're going to make a mark right here on the edge. You want it to go right there at 2 1/4. So right on the edge, make a mark there so that you have your 2 1/4 up from the bottom, from this point up. So here is where you're going to do a score line. From the very corner that you cut here to that 2 1/4 inch mark. So right across there while the paper is folded in half, so that you have it the same on both sides. And you got to be careful because you're doing double sheets here. Once I've done that, I mark it, and if you want to Actually, I don't need to, but you could score it on the other side. This looks like it came through pretty good. So I am happy with that. And burnish it a little if you want. And there you see your score line. Not bad. So while I have it folded in half, I'll show you. I take this corner, and I don't even measure it. I just cut that point off. Just take it off altogether, and you'll see why later why we do that. So now you have the same on both sides. Then I take and cut on the score line down to that last score line that we made. You're going to do the same. These are the flaps for your box, right in the middle, just down to that score line that we just created on the diagonal. You could use, I'm using scissors, you can use your Stampin' Up! Cutter or a cutter. Just for the interest of time, I'm just going to do it. So this is what we have so far. Just a couple more things to do. We're going to take the pigtail that I have, center it in the middle of this flap as best you can, make it go all the way to the bottom where it can't go anymore, and punch. And so you have this line here. Now I fold it back in half, and you want to measure again. It's about on this 1.5 inch flap we're working with, about a 1/2 inch from that score line. Just make a line so you can see where a 1/2 inch is. But you're really going to measure up from the bottom at that 1/2 inch mark. You're going to go up 1.5 inches. And I'll show you this once I make a mark. That's a 1/2 inch. But up here, so about a 1/2 inch from that score line, and then measure 1.5 inches up and put a little dot there. And that's where I use my crocodile. The smallest punch, I just go in and do a punch on that. And because you've got it folded, you've got the punched hole in the same place. Now I'm running out of time quickly, so if this stops abruptly, I will finish it on on the second tutorial. So I did want to show you how to do the flap with your X-Acto knife. And let me see if I can get up. I'll bring it to the camera closer, but you're going to just draw kind of a square down from those two small holes and across. So you're basically making a flap. If you can see, you draw it down. Don't go across the holes. You're going to draw down from the holes and then draw across so you have a little flap. And this is where you're going to put your first elastic, or your only elastic, but this elastic. Now, one thing I do is use a piece of tape, and it's not double-sided tape. It is just there so that so the elastic can't come out. So once you've got your elastic in, just tape that flap down so it can't move after that. Oop, I'm going to fold this back across. And you see where you cut that hole. I want you to just take your scissors, or where you punch that hole, and cut right up to there. Cut that open right up to the hole. And again, because you folded it, you've done it on both sides. So anytime now you could decorate this if you wanted to. Probably this is a good time. I decorate it once it's together too. It's really up to you which you prefer to do. But let me show you how to put it together real quick because I'm running out of time. So you're going to put the flap up, pull your elastic through, and put the elastic through that first slot that we made on one side. You can see you've gone up to that hole. This is folded up. You're going to do the second slot, and you just go up to that second hole. And you can see now the box is coming together. That's what your box looks like right here. I'm running out of time here, but I'm going to run some score tape right along there so that, if we run out of time here, I will just finish it on the next video because I do want to show you how to decorate it. In fact, I think I've run out of time, so I can't. So I will show you, but you're going to run some score tape right along there, take it off, and then just make sure you have it together when you take the score tape, and then you have your box, and that's really the basic box right there. And I will do another one to show you how to decorate it.